We haven't received order for military intervention in Niger, DHQ. Why employers labor wars over preventable industrial issues? The ministry. Still, Senate hails ministerial nominees Okotete on achievements. Concede after President Tinubu's parley. Regional crisis looms as ECOWAS nation takes sides on Niger coup. Alleged contempt. FG. Federal government moves to jail labor leaders. The Guardian. Buhari Osibanjo absent as APC NEC ratifies Ganduje today. Protest as faculty elevator kills doctor in Lagos hospital. Abubakar leads ECOWAS mission for negotiation with Niger junta. And then we are going to leadership.
Okay, let me take hospital elevator incident. I saw this news yesterday and I was heartbroken about the state of the medical institutions in Nigeria. In the society, people who can help us. A young lady
who came down
died.
to get her food. Damn.
She had an emergency in an emergency hospital. Little things like this could make us lose important personnel in the society. I think after the elevator, I think rushed her to
the
emergency unit only for them to be looking for blood. There was no blood. That when you think of stuff like that, it makes you wonder, like, what is happening.
You can't even imagine something like that will happen in a place like that where doctors reside.
From that, nominations open for 2023 Obafemi Awolowo Leadership Prize. This Obafemi Awolowo Leadership Prize, I think it's a thing. It's a prize given to good leaders from past have actually handled, maintained their leadership position, how they've done things, giving names of people that will be on the list to win the prize. We wish them
good luck to all of them.
Still, Nigerian Tribune. Senate received 19 additional ministerial nominees. 47 ministers in all, highest since 1999. 2 from Kano, 2 from Lagos, 1. So, President actually added few names to 28 names he dropped last week.
Yeah.
So, I think all in all, 47.
To introduce more ministries to the
true.
his administration. True. So, we're looking forward
in as much as we support adding more ministries. I kind of look at it from the current situation in the country now. We should be trying to cut down costs. We should try to cut down because we know the economic situation is not favorable.
It's because he saw that the other money were not disbursing the money for their personal use. So I feel he has looked into this and he has realized that all this would stop. And then 2 other things. It's just like what happened to this lady who died in the hospital.
Yeah.
You think I read that some of the doctors were complaining that they've complained about this, but they didn't. The person used the money for something else, and now someone's life is gone.
I feel like these ministry organizations, they don't actually function properly, and you end up creating leads to hunger. So that's why I said I think the list, in as much as it's much. Now we should be dealing with how to cut down, because they squander a lot of money unnecessarily. Well, let's not talk more on that because we know we'll be having a politics session.
Very soon.
So,
Very soon.
Mr. Miss
Patrick Idowu.
Patrick will help us break it down. So let's move forward.
Okay.
This is a good thing. I know
Okay.
after the protest yesterday, the president actually scheduled. So I think he actually told them they had a discussion about his speech he gave on a few days ago.
Okay.
The
When he
president
had
gave,
a yes.
yes. So their own delegation was the in-depth breakdown of that speech because it was just he just in
Into-
place. So I think that would they would lead to the reduction of fuel price.
Yeah.
Well, we hope so. Away from the
Does
tribune,
this mean Dangote refinery won't come up again?
we can't say Dangote. Let's not talk about what we don't
I
really know
agree.
for now because we know
I agree.
Dangote refineries. They said they were supposed to be working by July, but we've not seen anything. So
Sadly.
we are still expecting more news from Dangote refinery. Moving on to that now. From that, angry protesters pull down NAS gate, take over streets nationwide. We saw
was
the video.
yesterday.
Saw the
The video
video.
was everywhere.
Like they pulled down the gate in protest to go in
To go in to
National
speak to
Assembly.
the, tell them that they won't grant them access until afterwards, but they didn't do it politely.
Yeah.
And people are already angry.
People are agitated.
They're
too
agitated, so
much. They
man,
pulled down the gate.
I watched it.
Well, from that, academic administrative activities settled on campus, storm court over contempt charge. These are just charges put in place because the courts were actually stopping them from the protest that was supposed to happen yesterday.
I think this was
June when president actually, I call it small issues. Those are not really issues that are bothering people now. So away from that, ministerial nomination: Oyetola, Matawale, Bagudu, Lalong, 15 others make Tinubu's second list. That's a good one. South is more than it's what the president. You need more people from here. You need more people from here to show inclusiveness. So I don't really think that's actually a big of an issue. This was the request of the NLC and the TIs. So I think that was what led to the whole protest yesterday. So now that we've had a discussion with Mr. President, who has actually given them a breakdown of it was other bodies, so they cannot just make a decision like
without
to end. Yes. So they have to discuss with other bodies involved. I think that was why they called off the strike.
It's not been called off. It's suspended.
Sorry, that's why they suspended the protest. Support for education, health sector. Angry protesters pull down National Assembly complex gate. NAS raises committee in 1 week. So it was, I think, the headline
What caused this?
Instead of embarking on such
Drastic
measures, we know the Russians are backing the Niger Republic, and
okay.
once this thing starts, it's going to be a problem for the whole West African state. It's not just Niger. It's not just Niger.
Yes,
And we know that some few African countries, like the likes of Burkina Faso, Mali, they are actually backing Niger. They are saying an attack on Niger Republic
it's an attack on
it's
them.
an attack on them also, and they are nobody will hold them responsible for their reaction. So this is going to lead to a massive massacre in the West African states. So I think the president should actually take time, discuss with his members of the ECOWAS. They should discuss to find a way to resolve this without any form of conflict.
Well, yeah.
So I think they should really
I understand you, and
deal with
I
that.
agree with you completely on this. Tanker explosion, an evening of horror in Ondo State. Sad.
So it's just a loss. I don't know why people these things, it keeps happening all the time. A tanker falls, or something happens to a tanker that's carrying such dangerous thing like that.
Rush into
people, you go there, you see them inside. I saw they were actually swimming inside, and they were dragging themselves just to fetch this stuff. A little spark.
Let a smoker just light.
A little spark, and you can imagine the casualties there.
They will turn to roasted goods.
Man, I think the NNPC should find a way of resolving.
I really don't know what causes the accident.
And some of these tankers, these trucks they use, some probably they have brake issues. They have something. They've not been maintained. Some are old vehicles, old tanks they've been using for a very long time, and some of them, the drivers themselves,
they're always on.
They are not being professional with their job.
Yes.
You see them, they take substance that will make them drive like they are blind.
That's true.
In such areas.
In this one that happened, 25 lives were lost.
See?
When the tanker carrying 33 liters of petrol lost control and crashed into a dish, with its contents spilling into a nearby stream. That's sad. This is really sad. God have
mercy on this people's life.
So on the ministerial list, the 19 lucky.
Yes, you see,
a lot of
like last week when we were discussing about this list, people were the first list that came out. People were actually talking about the names that were out there. They were not really technocrats to some people.
Okay.
That the inclusion of young people. There were young people there, but most of the names that came out were ex-governors, ex-ministers. There is still names we know. In the pit. It's still the same ex-governors we were expecting. Not saying they are not capable of doing their job, but you can see why people are agitated is the fact that they thought they were
difficult for that one, because these fresh names, new names they're expecting. What have they done? I mean, there are past records to these people that have been nominated. I know most of them have their
ways
they're dented somehow, but
it leads to it boils down to what people are actually saying, because you check the names of people with credibility, people that they know that their past record speaks for them. So well, we cannot say much. We just wait till after the final list is out.
Okay, so I think this is all for Newspaper Review today. And if you want to know more websites and read about it, or you go and buy a newspaper and read about it. Until tomorrow, see you. I'll invite